सीतापति रामचंद्र की प्यारे भाई बहनों, my dear brothers and sisters, let us clasp our hands and bow our heads in humble supplication as we seek guidance, blessings and protection from the supreme consciousness that pervades the entire cosmos. Hari Om, Hari Shuklambaradharam Devam Jashivarnam Jadurjam Prasannavaranam Dhyaye Sarvavignom Om Saraswati Namostubhyam Varde Kamropini Vidyaram Karishyami Siddhavatu Mem Saram Om Agyanatimirandasya Yanandranath Chakshurmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaः. Om Jayanti Mangalamkali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Swaha Swudha Namo Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivarnam Urvarukamev Vandanam Mrityormukshayamamritam. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namo. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Namaya Sitaya Bhate Om Mangalamurti Marutanandan Sakala Amangalamuranikanam Pavadapanya Santana Hitakari Yadegi Rajata Avadvihan Matu Pita Gurudana Patishram Shiva Samita Shambho Sudaradha Charanakamala Bandho Samataho Deho Rama Parmiho Viva Jai 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 Hanuman Sai Kripa Karo Gurudev Ki Nai Mandan Ram Lakan Veer Ye Tulsi Ki Paraman Sani सियापन रामचंद्र जय की जय शरण पति महादेव की जय शरण वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय शरण ओम श्री माता पिताय नमः श्री गुरु चरण कमलेभ्यो नमः ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। Before beginning our katha, let us blend our voices and chant the praises of God. Sound check. Sound 1, 2, sound check. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Har Har Bole, Namah Shivaya. Sita Pati Ramachandra ki Jai. Brothers and sisters, our Katha is taken from Aranyakand of Sri Ramcharitamanas. My Guruji had told us in class one time, said that whenever someone passes, it is this Katha, which is Kevat Sambhar, was given a special vardhan, a special blessing, that when it is read in home of the person that passes, aids in their continued journey. So as I was looking at to make sure somebody didn't read it already. So before beginning our Katha, let us blend our voices and we sing the Ramayana.
सुमिरन।
वरदानां मर्त्यसंहारां व्यसनां तमसां मंगलानां च कर्तारो वन्दे मां विनायको भवानि शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वास्वरो याभ्यां विनानां पश्यन्ति सिद्धस्वन्दस्वमेश्वरम्। ॐ गं गणपते नमः। ॐ ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ उमामहामाये नमः। Bhagwan Sri Ram, Devi Sita and Lakshman, they have left to go into the forest. Sumant, the charioteer, has gone with them and carried them. As they are leaving Ayodhya, all the citizens of Ayodhya, everyone leaving everything and just started to follow Bhagwan Sri Ram into the forest. Giving up everything. All their duties, just leave it and they follow in Bhagwan. Bhagwan Sri Ram goes into the forest, and when he looks, he sees almost the whole of Ayodhya is there with him. But he knows that he has his duty to perform, and he knows they have their duty to perform. Just as each and every one of us have our respective duties to perform. So Bhagwan decides that early in the morning, when everyone is still resting, Sumant, Devi Sita, Lakshman, Bhagwan Sri Ram, they would leave early. So they go miles and miles into the forest. So by the time they reached the Ganga River, when the citizens woke up, they didn't see Bhagwan Sri Ram. Lamenting their fate, eventually they went back to perform their respective duties. Bhagwan Sri Ram comes to the forest, by the river, and now he tells Sumant that Sumant, after Sumant tried his utmost to convince him that 14 days or 14 hours could be equated to 14 years, Bhagwan Sri Ram says, no, there's no shortcut in this life. You need to perform the proper and full duty. 14 years is 14 years. So, convincing Sumant that he needs to go back, he tells Sumant to take the horse and go. So as Sumant is reins the horses and they are turning, we'll hear what Goswami Tulsidas tells us in the first Doha. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Yato Hato Ram रामचंद्र की जय। रतु हकियो रामतन हेरी हेरी हिरिनाई देखी निशाल विशाल बस दुनहि शीस पचिताई। The horses turning, and as they're turning their heads to go away from Bhagwan Sri Ram, their eyes are filled with tears, being separated from Bhagwan. You know, all of us, every one of us, before we entered the womb, who we was with? Dylan? Who was with? Bhagwan, not so. So you're with Bhagwan when your child was small and you saw him in the crib and he playing and laughing with somebody and nobody's there. Who do you think he playing and laughing with? Bhagwan, yeah? So we come into this world, Bhagwan was with us, We come into this world and what happened? We start forgetting Bhagavan. And gradually, we forget him. When we start to remember Bhagavan again? We have common entrance coming up. Called Baba. You do Saraswati and Devi. It's Saraswati Puja and Ganesh Baba Puja. So remember Bhagavan. Have exam coming up. Going through some job. We're going to offer some dhar. You remember Bhagavan. We reach teenage years. Now that is high-spirited time. We are studying Bhagavan at all. Something major happened there. Can you remember Bhagavan? Time for CXC exam. Remember God. You want to get a job? Remember Bhagavan again. When we trouble, remember Bhagavan. That's how we have to remember the one true friend we have in this life. No. When everybody, all the people that you have with you, and you reach up to the funeral pyre or the burial ground, who is going with you after? Who is your friend? Bhagavan. We have to make time for Bhagavan. When everybody cry and we reach up to the funeral pyre, who there with Bhaya right now? In Bhagavan's arms, not so? Because why? His entire life was selfless. Selfless duty. Daddy wanted anything from your son? No. When you hold your child for the first time, you want anything from your child? You even want your child to say, Daddy, I love you. Selflessly, that's what a parent does. You don't want nothing from your child. Selflessly, give everything for the child. Not so? That is how you need to live your life. Like Bhaiji. All that he did was for all his children. And you know what? It was only for his children. Anybody needs help. And did they help him? Yeah? That is the main lesson you need to take away. Don't hesitate. Somebody needs help, you make the extra effort. Go and help them out. They don't have to be related to you. They could be like the horses. They're not your blood. Right? Make that effort. The major lessons we have all learned in this lifetime, were they spoken to us, or was it an example? An example, yeah? How many examples Daddy set for you all? Yeah? He was a quiet guy. He didn't want to talk too much to nobody. But the examples that he set, you will remember it forever, not so? That is what you need to do. Make sure and make the example. You cannot be sitting in the hammock or relaxing and going and say, boy, go and throw some job. Go and offer some time, and you relaxing. Reading papers, or watching TV. You have to make the effort. When the child sees you making that effort to get up in the morning, go and offer some dhar for Bhagavan, making that time to say a little mantra and so on, he will follow suit. He will not to you and going with you. But you have to make the effort. Yeah? So these horses turn tears in their eyes. Because when Bhagavan Sri Ram was small, Bhagavan Sri Ram used to play with these horses. So when they're turning away now to leaving Bhagavan, their eyes filled with tears. And what the Kewat and all the people they are doing? De kinishada bisar to nahisisa pachitahi. When they see the tears in the horses' eyes, they're beating their head in remorse. And look, the horses separated from the Lord and Master, and how they are. We need to make efforts for that one true friend in this lifetime. We have the whole day to go and look for wealth and whatever else you want to do in this lifetime. But you see, in Brahma Muhurt, you need to get up a little bit. If it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but stop, pause, and let your mind, all these set of thoughts that you have all over the place, just be at ease. And you can be at ease if you're studying, you know, have insurance to pay, have the liability to pay, have this, you could never meditate. But what Bhagavan tell you? You chant a little mantra. You get your Guru mantra, you have, or any mantra that you wish to use, but you need to chant it a couple of times, steady your mind, and steady your energies in your body. Right? As you steady that, and all your energy is centered, now you could go on to a full day. When you go to that full day, from the time you come out of the house and you're driving on the road, and the next person give you a bad drive, you wouldn't get, you know, irritated and so on because you're centered already. You did that early in the morning, and that's not taking you more than 5 minutes. And what that does for you is that now you know you have to spend a certain amount of time with Bhagavan. You and Bhagavan alone. You don't have to go on offer no dharma yet. I talk about just waking up and just spending a little time thinking about Bhagavan. Thinking about whom a true friend in this world is. Yeah? So the process departs and goes with tears in the eye. Let us hear what Goswami told us in the following short part. Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram जासु वियोग विकल्प सु ऐसे प्रजा मातु पितु जिहरी कैसे. When even the horses are feeling so sad at separating from Bhagavan, think about the matu, pita, the mother, father, the praja, the citizens of Ayodhya, how they would feel separating from Bhagavan. We have given that golden opportunity to be in this human body. We can satsang all the time, not so. Bari bhagya manusha tanu pava, sura durlabha sabha, grantha higava, Sadhan Dhamma Moksha Karadvara, Paina Ji Paraloka Samara. It is by great good fortune that we have gotten this human birth. Out of 8.4 million species, we have reached this stage. When we reach this stage, what is it participle for? Seva, sadhana, yeah, service. What I used to do? I took care of his mommy for so long, not so? Well, and Lily too. Yeah, all of you guys, not so? But not only his mommy, how much other people he take care of? Huh? Seva, sadhana. When people like that has lived a life like this, you don't have to worry about them. Bhagavan personally comes and escorts them. Right, Sona? This is how you have to live your life. Service to others. Selfless service to others. Jasu Vikalpa Swayase, so in order for us to overcome this saga sansara, the first thing you need to do is that longing, right? You need to have the want to be with the Supreme. If you're lost in this world, you will never get your goal. So the first thing you need to have is what? Mumukshu. You need to have longing to have liberation. Right? And when you're doing that, what you need to do next? This is what Bhagavan says. Baravasarama sumantru pathaye surasaritira apu taba aye. When Suman hesitating to go, Bhagavan is telling him, no, you have to go and do your duty. When you go back to Ayodhya, my mothers and my father is going to be sad. You need to go and give them support. Yeah? Daddy is physically not here, so you boys, you all have to be there, grandson, everybody, and always be there for mommy. Right? All the time. I know you all will do that already, but I'm just reminding you. You have to be there. Remember, of all of you, mommy will feel it the most. Everybody loves daddy, but mommy is the person with him the most and the longest. Right? So the little distraction with this satsang and so on helps a lot. But there will be a time when, she by herself and she lost and remembering her husband. And that deep sadness when it comes, it's very, very difficult to explain that, But for when Tanti Dol had passed away, I had done satsang also. So I just want to remind you about something I had told you all then. That when my dad passed away, all his satsang was good because it was keeping occupied in my mind and so on. But 2 o'clock in the morning, I was sleeping on the bed with the Dharmapatni right next to me. And I get up, missing my dad so much. I feeling like I can't breathe. Like air just can't come to my lungs. I just missing him so much. I'm trying to tell myself in my mind, Bhagavan said this, Shri Krishna said this in the Gita, this and that, but all that don't work. All the knowledge, all the wisdom that you have, it doesn't work when you see that sadness takes you. You can't breathe. I run outside in the porch trying to get air in my lungs because I can't breathe. I'm so missing my dad. Nothing, like I can't breathe. When I go to my prayer room and I say, Bhagavan, take it away. Take away the sadness. I can't take it no more. So then, I feel like I get some air in the lungs. Everyone experiences sadness differently, but we have one Supreme Lord and Master. When you can't take it no more, believe you reach out to Bhagavan and tell him, Bhagavan, I can't take no more. Take away the sadness from me. Bhagavan is his support. Right, Didi? Telling him that you need to go back and perform his duty, telling him so much. So that's the next thing that Daddy does. What Daddy does for every one of you, what he did. always maintain his duty to support his family. Yeah? Even when my brother was talking, he was saying for the business that, he's the president or something, and he still come, He can't move all the boxes and stuff, but, he's still there to support. That is what we need to do. Even if we have to give moral support, we need to come and be physically there. Yes, you'll call on the phone and say, Mommy, so by so, but you have to come. When she see you all and she come and she just hug all you up, or see the grandchildren or some kind of thing, that will help them. And you have to be there for Mommy and each other after this satsang is over. So next thing, we need to perform. One, we have to have longing for Bhagavan. We need to perform our duty. Again, what Bhagavan says, Magi navana kevatu ana kahe tumhar maramu mein jana. So he's telling the boatman, Bhagavan comes to the shore, he wants to cross the river. But when he's calling the boatman to come, the boatman is saying that Bhagavan, the boatman comes, but the boat on the next side. So he's telling him that Bhagavan, I heard that the dust from your feet is magical dust. That dust from your feet could change rock into a lady. And my boat made out of wood. So if the dust of your feet touch my boat and it turn into a lady, I wouldn't be able to ferry across anybody. I would lose my job. I won't be able to support my family. So he's saying, Charana Kamala Raja, Kahu Sabu Kahari, Manushakarani, Muri Kachu, Ahari. What he's talking about, the dust that he's talking about that touched the rock, is about Ahilya Devi, right? You remember when Bhagwan went and the dust from his feet, when it fell on the rock, Devi Ahilya was relieved from that curse. Let us see what Goswami Tulsidas tells us in the following chaupai. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Nari Suhani, Pahan Tinaka, Akasimani, Dari Ho Moridha, Rini Ho Nijari, Bhakta Purani Mori, Nama Purani, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, I would lose my ability to gain finances to support my family. एही प्रतिपालु सब परिवारो नहीं जानो कछु और कबारो जो प्रभु पार वसी गच्छहु मोहि पर पदुम्न पखारन कहु. He said, Bhagwan, allow me to wash your lotus feet. Allow me to wash the dust of your lotus feet. But I just want to draw your attention to Ahilya Devi that we was talking about earlier. So, Ahilya Devi, that one little incident that she was turned into a rock, that is just one little part of her life. Ahilya Devi and Gautam Rishi, they had brought the Triambakam Shivlingam to earth. Because of them, when there was drought for 12 years, they had been able to bring water to help the people of that forest. When Gautam Rishi and they had prayed to Bhagwan, and they had this place where they had like a trough where there was water, everyone started to come back because everyone had left because of the drought. When they had caused this water course to be here, now the people in his ashram, the young boys in his ashram, they went to collect water only. But the other people who came back, the wives of those sages, they were cutting in and taking the water before the boys. So they were taking long, and then eventually they went and tell Ahilya Devi what was happening. So Ahilya Devi came and she just went and took out the water and left. So now the other ladies find, she come and she take the water before them, so they have a problem with that. So they went and tell their husbands all sorts of negative things, and they decided that they would do things to get rid of Gautam Rishi. It's another thing you need to pay attention to. When other people bring and carry news and tell you different things, don't take that at face value. You should know from the grit of the people that you're dealing with that they won't do something so lowly. Right? You need to listen and figure out and filter out what is the truth. So the sages and them, they didn't bother to listen, they just listened to the wives and them come and just tell them, give them that story. They take that and they went and perform great yajnas on to Bhagwan Sri Ganesh. Bhagwan Sri Ganesh, they asked Bhagwan Sri Ganesh that they want him to get rid of Gautam Rishi. So Bhagwan Sri Ganesh is trying to convince them that this is not a good course of action. But they said they perform all this tapas and that is Jewish. So Bhagwan Sri Ganesh took the form of a feeble cow, and he came, and there when Gautam Rishi had his garden growing there, he started eating the stuff in the garden. And Gautam Rishi took a blade of grass and just shoot the cow. And from the time the blade of grass touched the cow died. But remember, that's the leader of Ganesh Baba. So when he died, the sages and them come and told him that Gau Hatya, that he has killed a cow, that sin that he has committed, he has to leave and go from here. Because that is what they wanted, right? So they said, now he has to do penance for that. So they said that the penance he has to do is that he has to make hundreds of parikrama around the mountain, because they knew that would take a long time. So he decided that yes, he has to make the parikrama, but he will also pray to Bhagwan Shiva Shambhu. And that is how he brought the Triambakeshwar Murti down for others. But the key thing about it is that he did not hold malice against them. So all of people do negative things to you, don't have malice against them, leave them. Remind you of anybody? Understand? So the people who teach you these things, they are saints on this earth. Right? When Daddy tell you that, leave them. You understand? That is what you need to do. Forget the wicked people of this world. You do what you have to do. Yeah? Again, he goes on and tells Bhagwan, in the following chant, he tells him that Pada Kamal Dohi Charahi Navana Nata Utarahi Charahu Mohiram Ravi Anadashrat Sapadasava Sachikahu. That is swears by Dashrath, even by Dashrath, by him and Lord Dashrath, that he don't seek no toll. He wants no payment. He just wants to wash his feet. Again, when you're doing puja for Bhagwan, what does he need to do? When you're doing puja, you don't go with an ulterior motive. You don't want something from God. You just pray. Pray to Bhagwan and don't be going. So I'm coming to do this puja because I make a promise and this is how I'm coming to do puja. No. As a matter of fact, I find you shouldn't need to have to come out to do no puja. If you see you doing your offering your dhar morning, you pray to Bhagwan lunchtime, and in the evening you do your sandhya. Do you really need to do any puja again? The main thing is that you keeping in contact with Bhagwan. Don't say, alright, Diwali time coming, we go do one prayers for the year, and we will remember Bhagwan. No. You remember Bhagwan at least 3 times for the day. The morning you get up, you offer something for Bhagwan, you make Shanlai to the evening, and lunchtime, even if you're in work, before you partake of your meal, at least remember Bhagwan, thank you for this food. So at least 3 times a day, please remember Bhagwan. Yeah? Let us hear what Goswami Tulsidas tells us in the following Surtha. Atpate Bihase Karunaina Chitai Janaki Lakanatan. Hearing the words of this ferryman that is filled with devotion, Bhagwan turns to Devi Sita and Lakshmana, he's smiling. It's only a couple of times in Sri Ramcharitmanas that Bhagwan Sri Ram smiles like this. But why is Bhagwan smiling at this devotee? This is a simple boatman, and how he's so wise. For him to be so wise, he had to be in the company of people who are wise also, not so? You had to be in satsang with you, with those who are wise. But who is the wise person in that village? Guharaj. Why is Guharaj so wise? Because in a previous kalpa in Satyug, you already remember Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, where the woodcutter had done Sri Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. That is kalpas before. So because of that one action that he did when he did Sri Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, then he became Guha, the king of this tribe here. And he, because of that also, is able to come in close contact with Bhagavan Sri Ram. And that is what made him wise. So because of his wisdom and the keyword being in the company of a wise person, that is how he becomes so intelligent. Where Daddy used to take you all, not in places of worship, not so, for you to gain wisdom, not so. In these times here, when everything is electronic and everything in your face, we have to make even more efforts for our children to make sure some amount of, moral values get imbibed in them. If we need to cut something and block certain sites or whatever it is we need to do, but we need to protect our children, because once you see the young minds get certain things programmed into them, it's not going to change. We have to make sure that whatever goes into their mind is noble and pious things. And like I said before, who's going to do that? The exemplar. Yeah? You cannot be telling Sona, no, you need to come off the computer, and then you go in and do the same thing. And no, you come off. You go and read your book. You have to set the example like Daddy did. Yeah? So he's smiling. But why he's smiling at them is because he's thinking that, look at this keyword. And yesterday you all heard about Sharabang Rishi. Thousands of years Sharabang Rishi did penance, not so? Thousands and thousands of years. When he did so much penance that Lord Brahma sent Indra to come and escort him to Brahmalok. And he says, no, I don't want to go to Brahmalok. Bhagavan Sri Ram is coming into this forest. I know that because of my tapas. So I'm waiting to meet that Supreme Lord and Master. But look when he went to meet him. After thousands and thousands of years of worship, of tapas, that is how he gets to meet Bhagavan. Look at the keyword. What the keyword have? The keyword have satsang. Yeah? He was in the company of the pious people. So all the thousands of years wasn't needed because you're in satsang. Yeah? Over and over we say that, not so? Binu satsanga vivekana hui. Yeah? But how are you going to the satsang? Rama Kripa. Only when you get Bhagwan's mercy. How you get Bhagwan's mercy? Get up in the morning, offer a little dhar. Talk to Bhagwan in the morning when you wake up. Lunchtime, evening. Yeah? Again, let us hear what Goswami Tulsidas tells us in the following short line. सिंधु बोले मुस्काई, सोई करहु जेई तव नव न जाई। वेगी अनुजल पाय पखारो, होत विलंब उतरहि पारो। जासु नाम सुमिरत एक बारा, उतर नर भव सिंधु अपारा। सोई कृपालु केवत ही निहोरा, जिहि जगु किया तिहु पधु ते तोरा। Bhagwan Sri Ram is saying, go ahead and bring the water and wash my feet. But hurry, I'm getting late. Bhagwan Sri Ram has now started his 14 years of exile. Bhagwan is saying he's late. How Bhagwan is going to be late? And you have 14 years ahead of you. You see, when you make one step to Bhagwan, he rushes to you. You know, like Sutikshan, we had Sutikshan Katha, Sutikshan going back and forth, left and right, sit down. Bhagwan sees Sutikshan and he can't wait to meet Sutikshan. So he appears in his heart because he can't wait to meet him. To make a few steps, Bhagwan can't wait. That is why Bhagwan is in a hurry. All his devotees are waiting in the forest, just like Sharabhanga is waiting on him. All his devotees, Shabari and all those saints and sages who took the form of trees and vines, they are waiting on Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is hurried to go and meet his devotees. That is all you need to do. Make a little step to Bhagwan. Make a little effort. And Bhagwan is ready to come and embrace you. Don't throw away this lifetime. Yes, we will collect the stuff of this world. But remember, it is a collection. And the collection is going to stay right here. All the things we hoard and we put in the bank, if your number calls next minute, it makes no sense, you're carrying nothing with you. But you know what you carry with you? You carry our karmas, the actions that we perform. And one other thing you carry, you know what you carry? The devotion that you have for Bhagwan. So think about what you put in the bank. We banking with good karmas, and we banking with devotion to Bhagwan. And how are you going to get devotion to Bhagwan? The whole katha is about that. The dust of the feet of Bhagwan. Long time, when I was small, it's a long time ago, when I go with my grandfather to do puja and so on, when we go Pinal and so on, didn't no Baba coming, they used to run out the road, have somebody looking out for Baba. When he coming, everybody comes and they meet Baba, take all his bags and so on, and they escort him in, put him to sit down, and they wash his feet. When they wash the feet of Baba, they sprinkle the water on everybody and into the entire house. So you didn't have to call the guy to take out spirit and thing from your house a long time, because that Charan Amrit from the feet of the Guru, when you sprinkle it in the house, all negative energies goes away. Yeah? The whole katha is about humility. What is the major thing about Daddy? He was always a humble person. Always. Every time I met him, he was always a humble person. I mean, I didn't meet him long, did he? But from what I know of him, he was always a humble person. He never had any haughtiness about him. That is the secret in this life. No matter where we reach in this life, be humble. And the people who just get haughty, it's the people who believe themselves to be smart. They are the haughty people in this world. Knowledge is something that we cannot gain knowledge in this lifetime. Sage Bharadwaj, one of the person who listens to this narration, Sage Bharadwaj, he had spoken to Indra and he wanted to get 3 extra lifetimes to gain knowledge. So Indra gave him extra time. 3 extra lifetimes he get because he wanted God and knowledge. So after the 3rd lifetime, he breathed in and gaining knowledge and so on. Indra came to him and he brought in his hand, so he brought a handful of dirt. So he said, oh Bharadwaj, because Bharadwaj asked him for next lifetime again. He said, Bharadwaj, those 3 lifetimes that you took there, this amount of dirt in my hand is the equivalent of the knowledge you have gained in 3 lifetimes. He said, you see those vast mountains there, the Himalayan mountains, those vast mountains, that's the knowledge you haven't gotten as yet. You understand? No matter where we reach in this lifetime, how much knowledge, how great we feel we are, is too much more. This lifetime you could never gain that amount of knowledge. You know, always be humble. That is why we should always pay humility to humble and bow to Baba when he comes. You know, you read some books and oh, you know more than Baba. You go on the internet, you use ChatGPT, or you know more than Baba. No. You know, haughtiness comes in. Humility, that is the key. Let us stay out. What's the time for me? 8:15. So Bhagwan, I just briefly, Bhagwan wants to cross this river, right? And Devi Ganga, doubt comes to her mind. And she's saying that this is the Supreme Lord and Master. And he need a boatman to carry him across that little river. So doubt comes to her mind. Because she's thinking, you know, if this is Trivikarma, that Supreme Lord and Master who took the 3 steps, remember Bhagwan took Vaman avatar, and he took that colossal form, and he took the first step, he covered the entire earth. He continued growing, and when he took the 2nd step, his foot reached in Brahmalok. So when his foot reached in Brahmalok, Lord Brahma had taken water from his Kamandalu and washed his big toe, his right toe. And that water, when he collected, is Mandakini, Ganga Devi, Mandakini. So when Bhagirath had done his penance, remember when his grand-uncles had died, 60,000 of them, they were destroyed by Kapil Muni, and he came and he brought down Ganga Devi. That is where Ganga Devi was, in Brahmalok. So she comes down, and remember, she would have, if she had come down straight from Brahmalok, she would have displaced the earth. So Lord Shiva was worshipped, and Lord Shiva catched her in his hair, his matted hair, and then he allowed us some streams to go. So Ganga Devi now has that doubt, because this is the Ganga river he's going to cross. So she's doubting that Supreme Lord and Master, if this is the Supreme Lord and Master. So when he tells Kiva to bring the water, and she comes in that huge basin that he brings, a wooden basin, and she sees the toenail of Bhagwan Shri Ram, then all her doubts were removed. And this truly is the Supreme Lord and Master come in the form of Bhagwan Shri Ram. All her doubts was removed. Yeah? But what the Bhagwan Shri Ram's foot is about this big, and the Kevat brings a massive basin, wooden basin, the biggest wooden basin he could find, to bring that to wash the small feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram. Why you need such a big container to wash the little feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram? Why he's doing that? He washes the feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram so that the Charan Amrit that he gets, if he had brought a little bowl, it would have been for his family alone. But he brought a big blessing, not only for himself, but for the entire village. That is what a noble person does. When he does anything, it's not only for his family, he does it for the entire village. Yeah? Making sure everybody else gets an opportunity, not so? Remind you of anybody? Yeah? Daddy has been teaching you all your life. You know what the great thing about noble souls? Noble souls teach you in this lifetime. They bring happiness to you in this lifetime. But you know, when they leave this world, the noble people of this world, they continue to bring you happiness. If Daddy wasn't a noble soul, he wouldn't have Ramayana. You know that? Only someone who has accrued sufficient merit could Sri Ram Manas be opened in front of you and glories of Bhagavan be read to you. So someone would have had to accrue a superior amount of merit, punyam, to bring all of you here. So you see what a great person does? Even when he has left physically, look what he's doing for all of you. Yeah? So great are the noble people of this world. Sitapati Ramachandra ki Jai. So he brought that water and he washed the feet of Bhagwan and he elevated not only himself but his entire generations. What? Relieved. Right? The practice that you all are doing, like offering your pin and offering your Tilanjali and so on. Even if Daddy has, Bhagwan himself has come and carried Daddy with him, all that you are doing, it is merit that is going to your generations too. Because there might be someone within the generation who would need some support. You know? Sometimes people die out of accidents and so on, not the time and so on. And all these things that you all are doing, it will go towards someone. Right? So even if in your mind you think, well, you know, my dad was so good, and I know Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself come and took him there, the duty that you all doing here is for other ancestors also, right? Sitapati Ramachandra ki Jai. Let us clasp our hands and bow our heads in humble supplication as we do closing prayer. Hari Om, Hari Om, Namastu Anantaya Sahasramurte Sahasrapalakshi Sharurbhave Sahasraname Purushaya Sahasramuti Bhayama Om Avahanam Najanami Visarjanam Pujam Jaiva Najanami Asamyatam Purushottam Mantrahinam Triyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardhanam Yarpujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Dadasya Kayena Vacha Manasendriyava Bhujadatma Navaprakriti Svabhava Karome Yadya Sagalam Parasme Narayaniti Samarapayami Om Manadhina Dhanodiva Shambha Chakra Gadadhar Akshay Kundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prabhu Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama He Prabhu Sarva Shaktiman Sachidanand Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarvyapaka Nadyami Ajar Amar Nitya Pravitya Shrishtikarta ko बारंबार नमस्कार हे परमात्मा भविष्य वर्तमान भविष्यकाल को शुद्ध करते शुद्ध ही प्रकाश करो जिसके सब का मंगल हो ओम Om Shanti Om Shanti Prithivi Shanti Rapah Shanti Aushadaya Shanti Parasmaya Shanti Vasudaya Devaya Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Deva Shanti Sama Shanti Nidhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together in one voice. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyadranam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. उमापति महादेव की जय, सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान स्वामी की जय, बोलिए सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सकल पंच जय जय श्री सीताराम। Let me extend my sincere gratitude to Bhayaji, Didi, for giving us this opportunity to be in your noble, pious company. I wish Bhagwan's continued blessings to all of you. I know with the foundation that you all have with Daddy, that you all will hold out and you will be there for Mommy. Bhagwan's continued blessings to all of you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be in your presence. Bhaiji, thank you for playing Dandal for me. God's blessings to you. My nephew and godson, Amitesh, thank you. Sona, thank you. Last minute you called and you came. You made me sound like as a professional. Bhagwan, blessings to you, Sona. To my daughter, Sridevi, my Dharapatni, Madhuri, Bhagwan's continued blessings to all of you. May Bhagwan continue to bless each and every one of you, and may you continue to be in satsang. Sita Pati Ramachandra ki jai.